they just give all of their, I don't know, they just hand over their brain to these people. I don't know how they do it and why. I don't know. I cannot understand this. It is deep, my sister. It is deep. And please, keep up the good work. It is deep.
We will not stop. Thank you.
Yeah, I follow you. I always watch you here. I'm always at the background. And another thing also, if you see them, they say their God can fight. And if their pastor do something to them, they will say, hey, let's go judge. But their pastors takes them to court. Their pastors use men to arrest them. I don't understand. Can't they see between the like? Can't they use their brain?
Wish that they would, but it's okay. If they cannot use their brain, we will help them to see.
It's deep, oh, it's deep. Yes. It's very, very deep.
Apostle said, come on. Yeah, you said it's a show of
strength. Come up now. Come and tell us that we are going to hell. Me, I don't book my space for her. So come up, come and tell us.
Just listen, Seth. Come and preach to us. Maybe you will be the one that will save our souls. Come and preach to us. Come. I'm going to invite you. Seth, you're still here. The time that you are using to be there, typing. This is you don't know how many souls you would have won by now. Guys, please make sure to do this heart me. If you look up there, you see the heart me thing. Please make sure to do it. It helps to boost the live stream. What sort of English is this lady speaking? You could not understand what she's saying? You could not understand. Meanwhile, you're talking about the English that she is speaking. Meanwhile, this is you.
Christ, the Son of Man, I give it.
This is you.
When he paid fully, your own is to just receive that deliverance. Receive it free of charge. Receive it free of charge. And sir, when something is paid for, you have complete rights over it. You have complete rights over it. You are not answerable to the first owner. You are no longer answerable to the first owner because ownership has been transferred. Authority has been transferred. Audacity has been transferred. You are no longer a slave to your first master, the devil. You are no longer a servant. You've been saved. He speaks. However, there are times God decides to be silent. Sir, no matter how anointed you are, no matter how much of God you love, there are times that God will be silent. There are days that God will be silent over your prayers. Have you not discovered that as you journey with God, there are seasons of your journey with God that feel so dry, so empty?
Apostle say there are days when God is silent. Apostle. Hey, how do you know that God is silent? How? Is that the days when they don't pay you tithe and offering? God is silent on those days, Abby? This is what you are telling your members, that God is silent when Apostle, go and get a job. Apostle, go and get a job. Apostle, get a job. This apostleship is not working anymore. You need to go and close down that thing you call church. Look at it. I can even see. The thing looks like Apostle. You see now, Apostle Seth Joseph is the senior pastor of Hofesh Ministry International, Suleja, Niger State, Nigeria. CEO, Joseph Global Enterprise. Eesh. You got this right. Yeah, what am I doing early today? Yeah, because I've got an event later on, so I thought I'll come up a bit earlier today. I need to respond to you, Reggie. I will respond. You need to get the thing. You need to get a date and time and all of that. Oh God, this thing is not working anymore. This scam is not. No. We have too many people doing pastor. Go and see how many pastors are there in Nigeria. Thank you for sharing. Religion is big business. Have a look. There are no exact figures, right? This one says there is no official or exact census count for the total number of pastors in Nigeria. And the reason why is because they just come up from their hiding spot. They just creep up. One can just wake up today and decide, I'm a pastor. The other one can come up today and say, God spoke to me in the middle of the night, and God said I am a pastor. That's how they become preachers. They become preachers by just inviting themselves to pastorship. And this is the same thing that Jerry Eze did as well. They invite themselves to pastorship. They're talking about, I was called. Who called you? Who called you? Who calls these people? Now, so look, it says estimates and prominent church leaders suggest that there are millions of pastors. Millions of pastors and Christian ministers across the country, driven by tens of millions of church goers and thousands of registered and independent denominations. He said, yes, my king, I saw one that said 2 million. Okay, but I couldn't find it just now. Hold on. So look at these other figures. Not figures as such, but something else that I found. RCCG alone, one church. RCCG has over 200. Look at pastors. Waiting. Who is calling these people? Who is calling preacher? Who? Goodness. A BBC. This is just a BBC article. Nigeria, where religion is big business. Pastor na scammer. Pastor is a scammer. Look at this. Pastors scamming. Apostle, why are you there crying in the comments? If you are indeed a true man of man of God. If you are a true man of dog, you will come up and talk about it. I don't know why you're there in the comments. Okay, let's put back this person's picture because this is what we're talking about here. The Noisemakers Club of Nigeria. Greetings.
I know now, definitely. So between this one and this one.
Akara Ogun, are you there? If you are bold, why not go offline and do this trash? I am bold. That's why I'm right here in front of you. That's where the boldness is required, not behind the scenes, not why. Go where I should go offline. Why offline? Why offline? Pastor, why offline? Shame they got you. Are you ashamed for yourself and all your fellow pastors? Hello, you see.
So you think she does not have a job? See what the yaya thing when you say go offline and see your delusional self. Oh yeah. Oh, I pity your life. You think she's waiting for offering like you? No.
Apostle.
Go and work.
Apostle, you know that there's money online. Apostle, you know that there's money online. Hey, you to make the money now. I don't know why you are busy crying. Why is Apostle crying? Why is Apostle crying? Why are you crying? Okay, guys, it's time to pray. Time for prayers. Let us pray. Guys, let us pray. Ashmos, what's up? What's up, Ash? Okay. It's time to pray, guys.
Mercy, Jesus. Mercy, Jesus. Let your mercy save. Let your mercy deliver. Jesus, Jesus, let your mercy. From one to another, from one house to another, from one issue to another. Jesus, mercy.
This is how our people are praying to the God. There's a God that needs these people to make all this plenty noise. Hello, Lavender. Lavender, are you there? Lavender, are you there? You're busy. Okay, that's fine. Say someone's grandmother misbehaving online. Yeah. Good. Exposing scammers like you. Instead of you to make noise in the comments, Come, Apostle. Oh yeah, come. You see, I've already promised you that I will be respectful. I promised you that I'll be respectful. I've sent you another invite. Come, let's talk. Let's talk. If you are what you say you are, Apostle, come on, let's talk. Yeah, come and prove it to me. Apostle, come and prove it to me. If I am the one, come and prove it. Come now. Don't just yap. Don't just type. Come and talk about it. Come. I don't see where I'll be inviting a pastor to come and speak. Inviting preacher to come and speak when this is the job that he does. He speaks for a living. He talks for a living. He talks for a living. Well, anyway, let's listen to some of the things that they call miracles, right, in this establishment. Okay, so.
And me, and when we come back, we'll eat of the flesh of Jesus and drink of his blood. Take a look. I want you to do what you've never done before. Check yourself again, because something is about to snap, or something has already snapped.
I woke up with a lump in my breast. When you are in American conference, you are saying, any woman with a lump in her breast, any woman with a lump in her breast, let it be reversed.
Every lump in the breast, it's about to happen. I mean now. I'm not talking about tomorrow. By the power that raised Jesus from the dead, we command, live.
Pastor Jerry, I was shouting, this is me, this is me, this is me. I got healed. I woke up with no lump in my breast again. I woke up with no lump in my breast.
Last year, Errol came through for me during Nsppd American Conference 2025. I've been asking God to give me a baby girl. I've been praying to God, asking if I want to get pregnant and that I need a baby girl. And Errol showed up through that Nsppd American Conference. And Papa declared, women that decide to carry their baby, receive it. Coming up, American Conference 2026, you must carry your baby to that conference.
Anyone who desires to carry their own baby, by the time we return next year for the Nsppd American Conference, some of you will come in with twins, triplets, quadruplets, multiple pregnancies. Receive it right now.
I claimed it as a amen. So weeks after the prayer, I felt sick and I tried to do a pregnancy test. That was in August. It was positive. How will you shout? I was happy. So immediately, I gave her a name immediately without waiting for weeks to come to know the gender. No, I gave her a name immediately, and I keep using the name to pray on the altar every morning, every 7 a.m. prayer.
This one is looking for baby girl. They're looking for baby girl. They're looking for baby girl. When I tell you, that these believers, they're very selfish. You're looking for a baby girl. God, please give me baby girl. God, please give me baby girl. God, please give me baby. I mean, I don't understand how. You're praying for baby girl. Okay, I mean, I guess.
So we to review the gender. I went for a scan. It was a baby girl. How will you shout? Of course, I was happy. So during the journey of the 9 months, it was smooth. Everything was okay. Errol came through for me. Nothing missing, nothing broken. So on the 2nd of April, I had my baby. This is my evidence. So this is my evidence. I've come to return all the glory to Errol.
You were watching football. That was last year, 2020. On the 13th of July, somewhere you're watching football. I my husband went inside the house. My last son went into his bedroom to go and call him or something. What I heard was, mommy run, mommy run. I thought it was just like that. But when he shouted, mommy run, that is behaving somehow. And I ran inside there and saw that he was almost falling down on the mouth already has gone one side. The eyes, that thing, and he was just shaking. What came in my mind was, oh, Earth. I now laid my hand on the ground and said, oh, Earth, yes, I hear the Lord. He will not swallow the body of my husband. Listen, oh, Earth, who saved her? God gave her at the four corners of the earth, manipulating anything, making a judgment, making a incantation that my husband should give up. Oh, Earth, open up and swallow the person. That was it. Let my husband open his eyes. When I got the call from home that my dad was rushed to to the hospital and just suddenly stopped talking partial stuff. And the following week, which was on Friday, which was on 18th of July, on Friday, I came back. I saw my dad sitting down in the parlor, and my dad wasn't talking. They had to keep him on his seat in the parlor, and he wasn't talking. And then I greeted him. He just looked at me. He did not respond. I said no.
Have you guys noticed that the things that they testify about, these are things that a simple consultation with your doctor can solve? That if you are in a country where the health system works, just take your person to the doctor, take your person to your primary physician, right? That's all you need. But these people give these things as testimonies. Just how do you testify that God healed you or cured you? I don't know how it works, my people. I don't know.
I have a question, please.
Go ahead and ask the question.
My question is, if with all of their fantastic stories and all of this, why are there still people that are buying in the hospitals that cannot afford medical care? Why? If their God is so passionate, or they are so passionate, they are miracle workers, why are there still hospitals existing in Nigeria if it's the capital of Christianity in the world? So please, can anybody help me to understand this? Because even their papas goes to the as a most expensive hospital in Nigeria, or they fly out of Nigeria for medical care. Why? Please, it don't tell when this thing it's plenty. And recently there was this thought that was just roaming in my head for I think 3-4 days now. Instead of saying that, because they twist their Bible to fit whatever narrative they want to give. So this thought was, is it that man made God in his own image instead of the other way around they are saying? Because if you think through it critically, that man made God in his own image, you see the qualities of a male human being in this their God, that is so hungry for control, that is so full of ego, that is so hungry for people to be under him, that is so hungry for service. So I don't know. I ask 2 questions now, please. Prophet, please come and save this wayward soul that is going to hell. Come and save me. Please come up and preach. Please save me. Thank you.
I think UC Rogers can answer your question. UC, did you hear the question, UC?
Someone just called and cut me off. So can she go back over the question for me so that I can respond?
I ask, why are there still hospitals in Nigeria and or in the world in general? Then the second question is it that man made God in his image? Because all of the qualities that this their God desires, worship, massaging of ego and all of that, is the same thing a male entity of the human race desire. Please, can you help me to understand this? Thank you.
Yes, thank you. First of all, the first one is obvious. Hospitals are there to take care of the ill, those who are not functioning well, and to help you out of your challenges. And that's the reason why it is still there. If church was working, or all religion were working, it would have not had the need for hospitals. But hospitals are there because hospital works. Hospital aid the necessity of people. Hospital help you when you have a broken arms or a foot or you have any medical condition. It is important. And that's why hospitals are there and they are still building hospitals. The second question is, man create God or God create man in his own image, or man create God in his own image and likeness? The second is the
Man
right one.
creates God. Man creates God in his image. Man creates God in his image.
Yes, the reason why man created God is because all the attributes of God is according to man's thinking. All is ego. First thing first, God is in heaven, God's watching down, but then they say God is omnipresent. He's all powerful and he's all knowing. What it meant to be omnipresent? For instance, the oxygen on earth is omnipresent on the surface of the earth. So everywhere you can find the oxygen, where you are, where I am, and across the globe, there's oxygen. So if God is omnipresent, why do he need a throne? Why do he need kingdom? Why do he need God when he's everywhere at the same time? Why do he sit under heaven and look down to the tower of Babel and saw these people building a big building, huge building, when he is already omnipresent? Does that make sense? So all of these things are the nature of men and the limitation, because they don't see the oxymoronic views, or they don't see the the discrepancies in the narrative, because at that time they didn't have proof readers, and they didn't have people who used to think. That's why they tell you lean not to your own understanding, because they don't want you to ask questions. And anybody that don't want you to ask questions, they have something to hide.
Exactly.
Yeah. So in closing, I just want to say this, that everything about religion, it's man-made. Nothing about any supreme being. It's man-made. Thank you.
Wow. That was a really good answer. I don't know what someone is asking me. Can I join live with use? What does that mean? Can I join live with use? I don't join live with people though. I just come live and do what I need to do. So I don't know what you mean. If you want to come up, you can.
What I was saying is that if their God is a miracle God, why is it their papa goes to the best hospital? They have the best of the medicals, of the professionals. Why? If what they are preaching is true. And me now, I with my old age, I have glasses. If not, I can't read well. I can't see correctly. Most of them also.
What do you mean? What do you mean with your old age now? What do you mean with your old age?
I use glasses.
You sound like a young girl now.
I'm just saying. See, I'm just saying. Most of these people, they use glasses. And they say they are healing the blind. No, they think. Please help me.
No, listen. Me, I always say that if your pastor has a bald head, do not trust him. If your pastor, his hair is receding, yeah, please do not trust such a man. Reason why, this guy can pray to God to supply him with hair, yeah, help him to heal his hair follicles, so he can grow some hair. He can have a hair on his head. Any pastor that is bald and is telling you healing in the name of Jesus, nah. Honestly, because if he cannot start with his own head, I'm sorry, there's nothing he can do for you. Nothing.
Exactly.
And you see most of them are going bald.
I want people. Go ahead, Afro.
No, I finished.
Yes. I want people to understand this. Religion, the fundamental structures behind religions or application are beliefs, right? You have to be a believer to become a follower. It has nothing to do with knowledge. It's just belief. What is belief? Accepting something to be true, especially without evidence or proof. These are things you can demonstrate. It's just in your mind. When you start life's journey, what you do with your children, you send them to school because you want them to have a proper level of education, information, which is critical for them to navigate themselves through life's journey. They don't need belief. They need active learning. They need to develop common sense, critical thinking in their school. Now, this is because knowledge is knowing. Knowing is applicable. It is objective. You can apply that to your day-to-day existence. But if you are a believer, it's just a mental game. It means that you are unaware of what you're holding on to. You are ignorant of the fact. And the fact that you are ignorant of the fact and you're teaching it to your children, what are you giving your children? The greatest legacy for any generation, it's not the wealth, it's information about whatever you have. So if you don't inform them, it will be like in the abundance of water, fool go thirsty. They will have all the riches, but those who have the brains will take it away from them. So you have to inform your children. But if you're going to tell them about a belief, which is kind of a superstition, then you are automatically doing a disservice to your children by teaching them belief rather than knowledge. Some people say, oh, I know God, but I can't prove it. I just feel it. It's lying. You're only playing with your emotion because you are in a traumatic cult to which you are trauma bound to these ideologies. It's nothing to do with reality. So we must understand that if you're inducing or inducting your children into a religion, you are doing a disservice because you are teaching them things you don't know. It means that you are setting them into a state of ignorance to which they become victim to circumstances. Thank you.
Hey, I couldn't have said it better. I couldn't have said it better. Hmm? Hey, my phone is ringing. Who goes there? Give me a minute. You guys carry on talking, please. Let me respond to my phone call, please. Why is he calling me video? You guys carry on, I'm coming,
yeah? Yes, my sister. Yeah, so what happened, it is so sad today that we have people who are continuing the process of destroying the minds of their children in this religion. We are not here to get any accolade and adulation or any gratitude. What we are here to do is to wake up each individual, to take them out of the trance of psychological conditioning. We have been trapped, and this was done since the era of colonization. And that's why they bring in religion to keep us psychologically subdued. Both religion, all religion, are only mind games, has nothing to do with reality. Religion steals your identity. That's why everyone in the religious structure, oh, my name is Moses, oh, my name is Emmanuel, and all those names. Or if you're a Muslim, oh, my name is Akhtar, my name is Abdul, oh, my name is... Because what it does, instead of they chaining your hands and putting a brand on your back, you are chaining your mind yourself. You are doing the job for them. And this is what you call reverse psychology or the mirror techniques. Reverse engineering on at a social level. And so we have lost the psychological battle. And what they're doing, they put us in autopilot mood to which we are recruiting our children. And then we're recruiting the children becomes a product of what we implanted in them, and then they are now recruiting their generation. And they will, the people who have done it to us, they're sitting on the side looking at us, because you know why? We are unaware that we are ignorant. And so we continue the process of mental retardation, because religion don't give you knowledge. Religion only plays with your emotions. And then what you engage in, conform biases. Oh, I was healed today. But then again, you still have to go to the hospital. If you are healed, why are people still dying? If your God is all-knowing, all-powerful, and everywhere at the same time, why do he require you to pray when you already know what's the problem? Why do he need you to worship him when he know that you already have that love for him and feelings for him? So my brothers and sisters, I'm not here wasting my time.
Wait. Sorry. Okay. Hey, hello, Queen. What's up? How are you? Okay, guys, let's keep on tapping. Let's tap. Yeah? Who is it? Hey, vessel of dishonor. The vessels. I was about to message Vessel to say, hey, look what is happening now. Oh, I need to send a message. Can you guys hear me at all? Hello.
Hey,
You
Afro.
can hear me. Okay, good. Vessel Disona, hello.
Hi, Afro. Hi, everybody.
Hello. Hi. I decided to come on live a bit earlier because I'm going somewhere later on. So yeah, decided to come and let's start early, see how we get on. And yeah, Ezra Ezekiel, thank you for being here. Thank you. Right, I don't know what happened. I don't know you, Zero. Just what happened? I heard you speaking and didn't hear you speaking again. Okay, you speak. No. Okay, you see is back.
Yes, I don't know if it's network or they don't want to hear me.
You see, Miss Rogers, what part of the world are you in?
Oh, I am back on the South American continent. I'm in a country called Guyana, next to Brazil and Venezuela. But I do travel from time to time. I'm between Guyana, the States, and the Caribbean.
So what's the where you are? What's the internet like? Is it good there?
Yeah, it's very good. But where I am, I also engage in farming. I have poultry.
So you're out and about?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. But my profession is electronic engineering. That's what I started. And I went into a new area, which is clinical psychology. I just finished my bachelor's degree. Yes. So I'm still pursuing my in learning because I want to know more about why I'm here. Why are we here? What is the cause? What causes the situation we are in at the moment, especially when it comes to the African people? I'm very much concerned about that. That's why I went way back into history, and I'm still doing some level of anthropological research so as to have more clarity. Religion, I know it's a psychological virus. It's about social engineering training. Obedience training, as a matter of fact, and that's what subdued the mind. And I'm so happy that you're taking the effort to help those who are not aware of the psychological ramification of holding on to this religious superstition. Right? And I do hope that you continue, because in you, instinctively, there is something, you recognize that something is wrong. Yes. And they set us in autopilot mode, to which we now recruit our children into this cult. And what they did, they reversed everything. When we supposed to giving ourselves the adulation and gratification and all gratitude, when we work hard, what we do is give it to someone else. Oh, let us praise Jesus and praise Allah. And what happens? You no longer have the motivation, because you know when a child pick up something that fall off a table and you say, "Oh, very good," and you give that little child a soda or something nice, that child's gonna skip around. You know what you're doing to that child is motivating the child while building character. So if you're not doing it to yourself, who do you expect gonna do it? When you do good, or the wife do good, I said, "Thank you, wife, for all the good you've done for me. I'm so happy that you're preparing all this fancy meal. I like how my shirt is pressed and all these things." Now, when she do that, you give praise to Jesus and not to her. What do you think you're doing to her? All the stimulus that should have been going to her, going to somebody that you don't never even see. And it's so confusing, because you say, "Oh, he's not Jesus, it's actually Yahshua. Oh, his name was Yahshua Ben." All his name. So if you call him a Jesus, but his name was never Jesus. It was
sorry, you see, Yahshua Ben waiting. What is it? Yahshua Ben who?
Yahshua Ben yourself.
This guy Jesus, every day he has a different name. Yeshua Ben Joseph.
Yeah, that's the Ethiopian. There's the ancient thing. That's what came from the Roman, I think, is the Armenian guy Abu Gorimo, when he wrote the Ethiopian Bible. He's the one. That name was Yahshua Ben, but he wasn't a deity in that era. It was more of a philosopher. And then it was more metamorphosed into what we call a deity in the Council of Chalcedon, when they natified and make Jesus now. Well, Jesus is only in the 15th century. That's the name Jesus, when they add the letter J to the English language. So it had different changes. So in so doing, the religion is really a cooked book of superstition that transformed from one level to the other. Same like Christianity. It started with Tarpes Christos, who was his followers, the first Christian, and then the follower of Jesus become the second set of Christian. So when they say that Jesus was Christianity come under the structure of Jesus, it's a lie. Under Tarpes Christos, those were called Christian before Jesus ever name ever mentioned. So that's why I say that I'm continuing study.
So you see, when they call the name Jesus, yeah?
Yes.
Do you think Jesus is the same character as the one in the Bible? I personally think as soon as you change the name of that person, you're probably talking about the same person.
Exactly. Because if, like, for instance, if I'm UC and I hear you hollering, King, I would not look into your direction because it's not my name.
And you shouldn't.
Exactly.
No, but you see, if I came to you and said, okay, you're special to me, and because I don't particularly speak your language, can I call you a name that I am familiar with, that is similar to what you are being called? Yeah. I ask you, and then you say, yes, you can do that. And anytime I call you a different name, you will respond. If me and you have that agreement, yeah, will you honor that?
Yeah, if you have that agreement and you call me a name that may be easy for you because of language barrier, yeah, that would be between me and you. But not for the others, because if anyone else called that name, I would not react, because I know my psychological algorithm is tuned to a specific tone, right? So if you change my name, if someone else changed my name without my consent, it gonna be, I would not know. But if you change it with my consent, it gonna be something else different. There's an agreement between me and a person because of language barrier.
Yes.
Because I had that issue while I was in the army, training as a young officer, and they could not pronounce my name, so they used to call me Isus and all those things. But sometimes because of the person you're dealing with, you would note that you recognize that is your name because no other person in the group have that name.
Yes.
But on the street, if someone call a name that you're not familiar with, you will not respond.
No,
even when they yes. So that is a two-person agreement, but there was no agreement with Jesus or Yahshua ben Yosef and anyone to change that name.
Exactly.
Right? And that is, yes. And that is really why.
You see, you now have the audacity to say to us, at the mention of the name Jesus, every knee must bow. How now? At the mention of the name that the guy never bore, every knee must bow. That's a fucking lie. But anyway, let's see, just 1 second. Iggy and Arun, hello. Iggy and Arun, are you there? Can you unmute yourself? I've just sent you the thing request. Hi, if you press on the, there you go.
Yes, I'm here. Yes, I'm here, ma. Good evening.
Hello, good evening. Can you go somewhere quiet, please? It's very noisy.
Okay.
Can you go somewhere quiet?
Let me put it in.
Can you go somewhere quiet? It's quite noisy.
Yeah, let me load the telly. Because I love the topic. I'm always on background. But I don't want to mute it. Okay, are you hearing me now?
Yeah, but turn down that thing that's making noise. Are there people talking there?
Yes.
Oh,
yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. All right.
Is there silent now? I'm sorry, ma.
It's okay.
No, I love your boldness, Mama. I love it. I love it. I love it. Because a lot of us, I count myself as one, but it's almost quite long now that I really know that we have to use our brain to really concentrate and know the God that we are serving. Because for real, if you really look at our country, Nigeria, most of the highest people, the richest men, before you count 1 to 10, pastors will be 7. Pastor will be 7. When I went to Nigeria last time, one street there will be 5 churches. 5. One street there will be 5 churches.
Madam, it's been a long time you've been to Nigeria.
No, Mama, I used to go 1 year, yes, 1 year, no, 1 year, yes, 1 year, no.
But now it's worse. Now it's worse, eh?
Okay. Oh.
It's worse than that now.
To the extent they are even looking for people's compound. They will just call you. You have a big compound. Can we start doing a house fellowship, this, that? Because I remember when our, I don't know how they call it in English. We call it Odionwe. That's in Benin. They just called me. They said my compound, pastors want to use it for. I said, Jesus, you don't reach like that. You don't reach like that. Because this thing of a thing, there are still a lot of people. They are blinded already. Even though you tell them that Jesus is JES, they will say, no, this is my Jesus, this is my Jesus. All the time, I used to follow you, Mama, I would be in the background because I love the way people still talk. And those people, Mama, you're not going to feel confused some people again. No? They don't, pastor don't, do many things for their
they don't fry their brains.
Did you know, Mama, there is a lot of people, a lot of them, there is a pastor before their husband. They will put pastors first before their husband.
Of course.
A lot of women.
Oh. By the way, this Jerry Eze is before many husbands. Many.
Okay.
Before the husband would talk, they would listen to Jerry Eze first.
But I'm more to even as that testimony of a thing. Mama, I don't lie you. I was a follower, not follower in the sense that money, I'm not being church member because now Europe, there are states in Italy. Through your topic here, could you believe if in the preach, our your day TikTok? Sometimes I will just switch in to listen to some testimonies because those their testimony, the thing is still they scatter that you say, is it true?
Testimony
not be true. It's true. I not be true.
There was one woman, Madam. There was one woman that testified on Jerry's altar. He said, I used to bite my fingernails. I no longer bite my fingernails in Jesus' name. The Lord has cured me from biting my fingernails. What's going be that? Biting of fingernails, don't talk to testimony.
In Nigeria, Mama, many of them, they will close their shop. They will first go church before they call open 1 o'clock or 2 o'clock. Customer go call, you not go see them for shop.
The ones in America, the ones that are in America, when they join the panel on Jerry Eze, it's in the middle of the night. In the middle of the night, they will wake up to join prayers. You disturb your sleep just because you want to pray.
Those ones, you can't tell anything anymore.
One madman online.
Can't tell anything.
Well, anyway, thank you. I appreciate you coming up to.
Thank you, Mama. Thank you.
No, seriously.
I'm still here. Because you said you are going. You said you are going somewhere later.
Later.
Just want people that will clear this our eye very well. But sometimes I still doubt, Mama, because it was last week. Last week I wanted to come up when one man was asking you why I want to come up was how do we come to existence? You understand? That is my doubt. If there is no Jesus, how do we come to existence? You understand?
With Jesus, Madam, with Jesus, how do we come to existence? With Jesus.
Yes. With Jesus.
With Jesus, how do we come? So if there is no Jesus, how do we come to existence? No. So my question is, with Jesus, how did we come into existence with Jesus? So let's say, okay, we want to follow your Jesus way now. Yeah, we want to be Jesus people too. Right? You have preached to us. We want to be followers of Jesus. Now, so with Jesus, how did we come into existence?
Mommy, no, are you asking me or you're answering the question?
I'm asking you a question, yes. I'm asking you, say, even with Jesus, how did we come into existence?
I can't answer this one.
Now. Madam, you see, so for the people that don't believe in Jesus, okay, I understand. For the people that don't believe in Jesus, now, let me mute you for a second. Very noisy. So for people like us that don't believe in Jesus, we get asked all the time, so how? How did we come into existence? How did we come into existence? How did we come into existence? But the people will believe in Jesus now. Okay, with your Jesus, how did we come into existence? How? You see that they will not be able to respond to that question. The only thing you will hear is the Bible says, but you forget that na person like you, na in right, waiting you they read for Bible. So how did that person know that that is how God created? Was the person there? Was the person watching God? The answer is no. So I honestly do not understand this. When we're here having this conversation about God, then we get asked, how did we come into existence? If you really want to know, on the live stream, it's not where you should be asking that kind of question. Go and ask a physicist. Go and ask somebody who is, I work for so many bright Nigerians. You always would. I don't know who this one is complaining about. Temiti, leave this man alone, madam. Why? Why? Why should we leave the person alone?
Timothy, leave this man alone, madam. Why? If the person is doing something wrong, she has the right to call him out.
Excuse me, UC Rogers, please. I'm going to need your honesty right now, yeah? UC Rogers. So you're not Nigerian, right, UC?
Yeah. Yes, I'm not Nigerian.
You're not a Nigerian man. And you were a Christian before at some point, right?
Yes. I preach in church. I was almost sure I would have been a pastor by now if I had continued.
All right. I want you to listen to this. Please, I want your very honest opinion. Yeah? So what is happening here is, this is prayers. According to this man you're seeing here. Please, I want your honest opinion of what you are about to listen to. Okay?
Okay, sure. Right. I would give you my honest. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Let me play it.
The child of a woman, your one says, even if she forgets, you said, I will remember you. Here I am. I will look on my hands unto the hill from whence cometh my help. I will look on my hands unto the hills from whence cometh my help. My help cometh from the Lord. My help cometh from the Lord. Abba, you said you will not leave me. You will not forsake me. Abba, I am holding your word. I am holding in faith. Show me mercy.
Okay, So you see, Rogers, that is quote unquote prayers. So please tell me, what is your honest opinion?
Yeah, what I'm hearing there is really being honest with you, he's just going into a repetitive mood of what he heard before, and it really don't make no sense at all. Because you are praying to a God, and you said the God is the creator of all things, and you asked him, he said, you will never leave me or forsake me, but yet still you have to pray to that God. What he is doing there, he is conditioning a cult system. He is actually repeating a process to which he indoctrinates people and make them feel that they are comfortable and things going to happen for them during prayers. This is what destroys the minds of our people. This, being honest with you, these guys are the one who are working for those who have implanted this madness in our society. And they are making it more effective by targeting those who are literally ignorant of reality. And that's why I'm saying that people who like this should not be allowed on any spectrum of me social media to allow this thing to go unabated. And we need to call them up when they're speaking this kind of ignorance. He is calling on a God, praying, saying that the God is going to help you, but yet still Nigeria is flush with hospital. People are every day going to different medical practitioners for assistance and aid and help. And you're doing this is time and time again. And I know that the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over, expecting different results. We haven't seen any change. So this is tantamount to insanity. And that's why we need to call these people out. And I'm happy that you're doing it. They may not see the value today, but the future generation tomorrow will understand what we are doing today so that they're benefiting tomorrow. Because the seed of today will bear fruits tomorrow. And we cannot blame those tomorrow when we see them when they are doing wrong, when we haven't planted the seed of goodness today. And I'm so happy, Afro ATS, that you're doing a good job. And I must commend you because I'm an honest person and I speak from honesty. And that's why I oftentimes work with the younger generation, because I know that their minds have been effectively damaged through people who are not literally aware of what is transpiring in our society. So honestly, he is actually going through a pace, what you call a pace mode, to which he is repeating same thing that you've learned in the court system, and he's not making logics in his presentation. It doesn't make no sense. Only what he's doing is playing with emotions. Thank you.
Wow. Wow. Gosh. I mean, and you see, there's a lot of people that are connected to this guy. There are a lot of people that listen to that and think that God is healing them. God is meeting their needs. God is, anyway, let's hear from Hassan. Hassan, what do you think about that prayer?
Thank you, ma'am. Anybody telling you about religion or a God, it just means they are playing with your intelligence. That is it. And these people are so demonic that they don't even think about the living. They're thinking about an invisible God and a ghost called prophet. Meanwhile, we're supposed to take care of the living, not the dead bodies. So my biggest challenge to religion in Africa is that when you go to Arabia, they protect and defend Arabians. When you go to Europe, they protect and defend Europeans. When you come to Africa, they will fight themselves to defend either Jesus or Muhammad. Is it not demonic spirit? It's very sad. It's time for Africans to wake up and see that this has nothing, no connect. Religion has no connection to God. And there's no way you can tell me that God is not an African. He's not a Japanese, he's not a Chinese, he's not a Korean, he's not an Indian, but he can be Arabian or Jewish. It doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. And you see, they program the Africans to wake up and like, oh, God has called me. Why is God not calling the North Koreans? Why is he not calling the Japanese to be women of God and the so on or whatever, imams or pastors? Is he afraid of them? Is your God afraid of the Chinese? Do you know the population of China? So if God is keep calling everybody, why is he not calling the Chinese? Because you've been programmed to wake up and say, God has called me. And that is exactly what you're doing. If you look at the activities of religion in Africa, trust me, I feel like when I introduce my child to any kind of religion, I have demonized that child against his own progress and his own societies. Why is it that the poor African is thinking of building mosques and churches before God can bless him? What is more blessing than feeding ourselves instead of building mosques and churches? Just think about it. What is more blessings than building food banks for the children on the street in Africa? But no, and Africans think that, oh, when he go to Israel, that is a blessing. So you are selling gold and diamond. Instead of building your communities, you are going to give it to people who never had gold on their land, because they are able to paint a stone to sell to you to get gold back to their countries. So these people get enough to feed their children, their wives, and go extra mile to get money to make weapons. And you are in Africa, even common food has become a problem of the day. And you think that is godly way? No. Let's make it this way. What they call idols. Let's say I worship idol. I have something that I made with my hands and I'm worshiping like a phone. Good. Somebody also made a bomb. Bomb and an idol, which is destructive. But God is telling Africans not to make anything handy to worship, but that same God allowed Israelis to make bombs and worship bombs for defense. Why is God not telling the Arabians and the Israelis to stop making bombs so he would defend them? So Africans are praying to a failed God. Yes, you are.
Hassan, they have convinced them that God will come through for them when they cry, Jesus, God, Jesus, Allah, whatever. Yeah. So they think
very sad.
In a war scenario. Yeah. In a war scenario, they read in the Bible where, for example, they walked around. What's the name of that place?
Jericho.
Yes, went around Jericho and blew a trumpet. They blew trumpets. Blowing trumpets helped them to win to invade that place. So when you're talking to people who believe in that story, they're not thinking about going to go.
It's very sad. When you take Islam, for example, it's a survival idea. For instance, do you know what they are marrying for? Because they need population. In the past, this desert is so hot that children were not able to survive. It was like 1 out of 5 surviving a day. So they have to marry more wives to increase their population. But they tell you God told them to do so. So why God did not tell Africans to do so? Even in the past,
their birth rate, their death rate, right? They were
was
dying
higher because of the weather.
Yeah.
Yes. Even today, they still don't have a population because of the weather over there. But though, technology has increased and hence living there. So it's better than in the past. So they come.
This is why a lot of them are leaving that part of the world and going to places like the UK, to Canada, to, because they want to expand. They want to, they've got a better quality of life in those places.
Yes. They're moving to Europe, and this guy is very brilliant. I think he should. If he's a Nigerian, I do hope he has platform to help to teach the Nigerians.
I think Hassan is Ghanaian. Hassan, you're Ghanaian, right?
I'm a Ghanaian, but I'm a Ghanaian. I used to go to a lot of platforms to teach, but you see, I'm not. Even if they say their religion is the best, they should keep it in their house because everybody is keeping their passport, isn't it? Why do you keep your look? Arabians don't give their citizenship to anybody. Trust me, go check on records. They enslave Africans for over 400 years. When you go to Arabia, you don't see black communities. What is the reason behind? Have you think about that? How many black Arabians are billionaires that we know? So are you telling me that the people they took during slavery, they all, I mean, where are they? When you go to America, they have African Americans. Belgium, Canada, everywhere in Europe, they have them. But in Arabia, they don't have black communities. And there was the first people to came to Africa for slavery. And you are telling me God sent these people, you are following them to heaven. If you live in Arabia for 100 years as an African, you will never get citizenship for even your born kids over there.
Imagine going to the heaven of a God that allowed your people to be colonized.
Can you imagine? And now they tell you,
you will feel very comfortable to go and sit in that heaven with that God.
Very sad.
They will colonize you again inside heaven.
Exactly. And I'm saying it again. Somebody who deport you from their country will deport you from your heaven. So it's time for Africa to create our own heaven. That is it.
Inside heaven there.
If Africans choose to go to hell, how does it affect the life of Arabians or Europeans? What if not slavery? Because when you get out of religion, they are losing slaves. And that is why they don't want you to get out. Because you cannot tell me God went to Arabia and tell them to wash their nyash instead of taking shower. It's just because they didn't have enough water. That is the whole idea. It's a survival idea. They didn't have enough water in the bush, so they have to wash their nyash and their penis so that they will not smell too bad for days. That has nothing to do with God telling me why God did not tell the Jews to do so, not Africans. That this kind of common sense doesn't apply to somebody who lives by the sea.
No, but
you can
Hassan,
go get a
Hassan, why would the gods go and choose the Arabian? Why did
it just doesn't make sense.
And say, okay, I'm giving you my religion. Now, after giving you my religion, now it is your duty to now spread it to the rest of the world.
Can you imagine? You see, look at how fertile Nigerian land is. And a Nigerian don't believe that God loves him, but he believes that God loves somebody in the desert. How can God create people he loves most in the desert?
No, but the Nigerian prays to the God of Abraham.
That's what I'm saying. It's just we lack common sense to reason.
The God of Jacob now.
Can you imagine you as a human being, if you have the power to choose anywhere on earth for your children, will you choose a desert area? Will you? And you are telling me God loved them so much that he put them in the desert. And you in Nigeria, you can plant cassava for Gary, everything. You think God don't love you after giving you all this fertile land. You see, we've been scammed for so long. We've been lied to for so long. Africa must know that religion is slavery.
Indeed.
I mean, stop entertaining religion in your families.
Look at Sorry.
You see, look at the African environment. We cannot even construct our own roads. And these people keep supplying us missionaries, imams to teach us. Why don't they supply us engineers and inventors to build our country? If they love us so much, what is preventing them from supplying us engineers that will build cars in Africa? But they don't even have the factories for printing the Bible and Quran in Africa. You know why? Because once you see it's being printed in the factory, you will never respect it. So they hide it and print it and bring it to you and tell you it's from God.
Can you imagine something that they printed in China? They told you it is the word of God. They printed
exactly.
the word of
And let me
they printed the word of God in China.
The background is a bit noisy. Yes, and let me tell you this, that a lot of people, Africans, yes, and let me tell you this, that a lot of Africans don't know, is that the first slave trade started by the Arabians. It started in the Indian Ocean first, then the Arabian slave trade, and their slave trade run the longest and the most brutal. Due to this slave trade, we lose over, as a matter of fact, almost 1 billion people die in the process. 400 million and counting. In Egypt alone, couple million that lost their life. As a matter of fact, almost 200, because it wasn't a specific country, but it was a very large area. And so if you understand, and that's why they didn't teach us our history, because they don't want us to know the past. And so when you don't know your history, then you're bound to make the same mistake in the future. And that's why we gravitate to these religions. And as a matter of fact, if you know history, you would not even hold on to know it close to religion, because they have they had breeding farm in Somalia, they had breeding farm in Chad, Djibouti, they had breeding farm in Eritrea area where they were capturing African women. And then they used out of these women, the children were indoctrinated and they were conditioned to come back and attack African brothers and sisters. And that's why I'm saying I'm doing anthropological research, because there's a lot that is hidden that we don't know. And so they would keep it hidden because they don't want us to know that, or else we will remove from the religion. That's why in the religion you have 6 and 7 fortune, is because what they were doing in the breeding farm. As a matter of fact, a lot of people don't even know that they were a breeding farm in Nigeria, right? They were a breeding farm in Nigeria run by the Fulani group. A lot of people don't know the history. And so because they also came out of the breeding farm, they were conditioned to act under the representation of Islam. And so they are not aware that they have been colonized and restructured and reorganized mentally. So they have what you call an atrophic limbic system in the brain, which the amygdala is not functioning as it should. That's why they are fearless and they can fight with anybody.
Okay.
And that's what needs to be done. So religion is a psychological virus that actually eat away your common sense, eat away your logical reasoning skills, and destroy your psychological institution.
Some also, they know the history, for Ghana,
Sorry, Hassan. Please, if there is anyone in the comments who is a Christian, a believer, and you think that we are talking rubbish, if you are a member of the Nsppd cult and you would like to come up here and challenge us, please do come up. The Nsppd is a cult at this point. Nsppd, that thing that you're going to be shouting, what God cannot do does not exist. What God cannot do does not. That's you guys are moving like a cult. And at some point, you need to wake up and realize that religion is nothing but a man-made control tactic. But hey, we are here. And we will continue to expose the foolishness in what you call religion. Yeah? The God. What God cannot do. There is no such thing. There is no such thing up there. No such thing as what God way. Where will they see this God? So anyway, let's I'll let the gentleman continue. But if you want to come up and ask a question, please come up. Let's see, we've got Study in Romania. Hello, Study in Romania. Study in Romania, hello. Can you unmute yourself? Study in Romania. No? Okay. Go on, Hassan. Study in Romania is not that.
Yeah, I was saying that a lot of people know the history. We have slave castles in Ghana and most places in West Africa where they actually show how the Africans were being enslaved in their own homeland. But today, when African men say, I'm not going to worship, and I don't want my friend or my family members to worship their religion, they say, oh, everybody has their own right to worship. But they're forgetting that when they were enslaving Africa and busy erasing our culture, they did not recognize the right to worship. So what kind of hypocrisy is that? What kind of hypocrisy is that?
Someone wants to ask a question. Lily, did you say someone wants to ask a question? The person above Vessel. All right, Iggy, hello. Iggy, you have a question? Yeah, go on and ask a question, Iggy, please. Yeah, if you don't unmute yourself again.
Hello.
Okay.
Iggy, ask your question.
Yeah. My question was I want to ask that brother from Ghana, because when I lose my interest in praying with them online, it was when I saw when they gave this Pastor Jerry a sword. I don't know that brother that spoke from a platform. They gave him a sword, Pastor Donkabe, I don't know, one fat pastor like that from Ghana. He presented a sword to Pastor Jerry Eze. And from there, the ministry started boom. I don't know if that brother from Ghana will know what that sword means. And that same sword, they present it to Suleiman also. If it's initiation to their club, to their court, maybe someone who knows about it. What does that sword represent? Because if you can see the picture of Baphomet, Luminat, is holding a sword. And this pastor is presenting the sword to them. But a lot of them will not know. They will not want to know what that sword means.
Okay. I don't know anything about, I don't worship with any pastor or any spiritualist. So I don't talk things that if you think something is spiritual, I don't talk about it. I only talk from my mind and the physical mind. So I may ask you, if they can use their sword to convert God or to change the ideas or the will of God, then they are the God. That should be it. If you can pray to change God, maybe God wanted to rain today and you pray and God make it the next day, then you are a God. There's no God. That is it. That is it.
So for me, if you're going to start talking about things like the occult, yeah, if you're going to start saying, because it's a sword, there must be something behind the sword.
Exactly.
No. What I'm saying is, if you're going to say that, you have to lot to prove. Can you prove the occult? Can you prove that this person is in a cult? Because he's given a sword, does not mean that there is any thing behind it. Yeah.
Okay.
Now, it is possible that is the case, but I will not go around making such claims until I can prove that it is they're running a cult. Yeah. So I'm very careful to call things like that a cult. Yeah, it's just a sword. That's all it is, a sword. And if things changed for Jerry after the sword, well, I don't know. Yeah, we only deal, just like what Hassan was saying, when it comes to spiritual things, he does not involve himself. Yeah, he only speaks about the things that he knows, right? The things that he can prove, and that's what we should do as well. Yeah, speak on the things that we can see, what we can hear, what we can prove. Yeah, but as for the occult, when you start accusing people of those kind of things, you can get yourself into serious problems.
Afro, I just want to say that Baphomet is not holding a sword. Baphomet has got 2 fingers on his left hand, 2 fingers on his right hand, pointing, not a sword. And then there's a stick with the symbol of the two snakes coiled around it that is on his navel. That's the same snake. That's the same thing that Moses held up in the desert when the children of Israel needed healing, right? It's the same symbol, the medical, that's a symbol of the medical or healthcare. I think in America, they use it a lot.
Yes.
Right? So I don't understand where the sword is, because Baphomet does not hold sword. In fact, Baphomet has little children around him. He's surrounded by little children. So why would he have a sword around children?
Okay. We need to be careful for these things that we call like the Illuminati, you know, the things that people put out there. Be very careful, right? Because they might tell you, oh, this person is Illuminati. This person has their hand up, 2 fingers up means they are part of both.
No, Mama, no, the ordination of presenting the sword to him, that one is in internet. Is in internet.
I saw it. Oh,
you saw it?
That.
Okay.
Yes, I've seen it. I've seen it.
Okay.
It is what it is. For me, it's him just acknowledging Jerry as, you know, because everybody wants a piece of the man that is reigning now. Right? Jerry is. Please, moderators, can you have me mute her for a second, please? Thank you. Can you have me mute her for a second? Very noisy there.
But Afro, in the Bible, the sword is used as a symbol. Apparently these people are at war, right? What does that say? It says put on the whole armor of God, and then it talks about take up your sword or whatever, and then it talks about the sword cutting asunder. It talks about go forth and whatever. The angels are even depicted with swords. There was a flaming sword put outside the Garden of Eden. So all these symbols, all the symbolisms that you people call the occultic symbols are found in your Bible. They're taken out of your Bible. So if you say they're the occult, then the Bible is an occultic book.
Exactly.
It is.
They don't want to admit that. God,
yeah.
God
What
Satan.
happens is that
God created Satan. And they claim that God created me and you in his own image. In which image did he create Satan that made him stubborn?
In God's image too.
Can you imagine?
Yes. I was recommended to be a part of the Illuminati group in our country by a prominent businessman, and I can't call his name here because he said, based on your level of wisdom and understanding, I can bring you into the fold. But when I go there, the person who were initiating the process was 3 of us. They took one first, then I go second. And then he asked me a question. He said, what do you believe about the Bible? I said, well, I don't hold on to the Bible. I don't hold on to anything that I cannot prove. I must have evidence before I submit myself to anything. And he said, okay, go outside and call the other guy. I don't know what he asked him, but the 2 of them were accepted, and I was not accepted into the group. So I am of the opinion that they also use the same Bible that the Illuminati group, right? Because the guy who recommended me, according to him, he's 32 degree, right? And I'm not going to fall under anything that does not resonate with reality. Being honest with you, you cannot put me into to serve anything or going through any ritual once I can't prove anything evidently. I have to learn that for myself and go through the process. And that's how I didn't get to be a part of that group, right? So yes, the group is active and live in many countries, but mostly you'll find those, they will call it the lodge, or they will call it the Illuminati group or whatsoever, right?
No,
but these groups,
the lodge, is that not, I don't know, Freemason.
Oh, if it is Freemasonry, God owns the earth, and he doesn't like it, and he's all powerful. Why is he allowing it to function?
Because the thing with the Freemasons, right? Okay, when I was still in the Church of England, There was one man, we were in the church doing something, I don't remember what. There was a man who came around and he was looking. He was looking. And someone said to me, please be careful of that man. I said, why? I said, that he is part of the, he's a Freemason. I said, okay, so why? I said that they have their lodge over there and that he comes around to come and look at the symbols, to look at the things that a lot of the building of the church is by the Freemason, that they are very active in church events and things like that, right? And he's coming to inspect things that need updating on the top, the images and things like that. I'm like, really? Yeah. He said, yeah. So me, I didn't understand that. Now, come to find out that to be a Freemason, you have to believe in God. If you don't believe in God, you cannot be a Freemason.
Exactly.
So I don't understand. You're telling me to be careful of this man, but then you have to be a believer in God to be a Freemason. How does this work? How?
Yeah, what happens is that you have to be a higher level. Once you're at a higher level learning, you're going to be a part of the Freemason, like a lawyer, doctors, and those who are of the higher echelon of society. They're the one who are part of the Freemasons, influencers. But when you are the commoner, you will be Christian or any other religion that is below the Masons. They claim to be the highest of the system of control.
But they are believers in God is what I don't understand. How?
Yes, and that's why me and my friend, who is a very prominent great businessman, wealthy, I should say, not rich, he's wealthy. He still believes in God, but oftentimes when we have this conversation, he cannot come to me. Even though he's a doctor, he cannot come to me with his religion because there's nothing he can use to validate. And he has his doctorate in chemistry, right? He has a laboratory.
Rogue States, no. Rogue States, you have to be a believer, not just in the Christian God, but in a God, whatever that. So you can be a believer in Allah and still be a Freemason. As long as you believe that there's a higher power, a higher entity up there that has, that is a criteria for becoming a Freemason. So, I don't understand all of that. Religion is very problematic, honestly. You can use religion to do just about anything. You can use religion to, create a cult, and you can justify your actions. Anyway, do we have anyone who wants to say something? Ash, hello, Ash.
Hey.
International, hello.
Hi.
Okay.
There was somebody I share your life with. I don't know, he's not here. I was watching this Ghanaian man. I think they call him Abraham. So I saw a post of him in TikTok, and I like to go through.
Avram. Is it Avram?
Yeah.
Is he a Common Sense family?
That's right.
Okay. I know Common Sense family.
Yeah, so I was reading the comments, and one dude wrote there, and he was like, don't you people know that Jesus is God himself? And I asked him, and I replied, I was like, please show me where in the Bible that Jesus said he's God himself. Then he went and said, have you not heard about the Holy Trinity? I was like, I said, hold on, you've not proved your first claim. You're making another claim. And I asked him, where in the Bible did he mention or did he say anything about the Holy Trinity?
Even if the Bible says, how does it make it true?
I said this was you Christians that made that up. You guys made it up. There was nothing here in the Bible that just suggested the whole Trinity. Nothing like that. Then he was like, oh, he now sent me a verse, I think about John chapter 1, verse 1 to 14, where I think they were talking about Jesus, the creation of God, where they said the Word was God and the God was with God. That don't you know that the Word was, they were referring to Jesus Christ.
In the beginning, the Word was God.
Mm-hmm.
The Word was with God. And the Word was God. That, to me, I just think that is just foolishness.
And I said, when you read that, where did it say anything about Jesus Christ?
Well, how does that thing make sense?
Sorry, I have to ask, which word are they referring to? Because the Torah wasn't written, the Bible wasn't written then. So which word was with God? Which word is God? What are they talking about?
Vessel of dishonor. I think the question also to ask is, was it the written word or the spoken word? Which one?
I mean, there was. If you read that passage, I think it was referring to the spoken words.
Oh my God.
You know, because they will say those words were when he said, "Let there be light."
Oh.
There was light. In fact, I can remember when about 7 years ago, pastor was preaching. I was saying, and he said that when God was speaking, it was Jesus Christ that was executing those things he was saying.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
So in other words, what he was trying to say, when he said, "Let there be light," then Jesus Christ will create the light.
So he just created Jesus to just be his personal assistant or what?
Listen, I mean, when Jesus said in the Garden of Gethsemane, he was.
Jesus is God's personal assistant.
I was like, how did you guys make that up? How did you guys even think of it? I'm still trying to figure out how they figure out how to make that up, because it doesn't make no sense. I'm not gonna lie. When I was growing up, I used to believe that. I used to believe that shit, though. I used to think that is true.
Oh, just give me a minute. Let me go. Sorry, guys. I'm gonna mute myself. But my son here is gonna chat.
Yeah, but if Jesus is God, when he went to the Garden of Gethsemane, he said, "Let not my will, but your will be done." So who was he talking to? Himself? Also, when he said to his followers, he said, "Deny me before man, and I will deny you before my Father which art in heaven."
I just feel like they don't. I just feel like
they're talking about his Father which art in heaven.
Right. Yesterday, I think I was on another live yesterday, and this guy was trying to use metaphysics to describe the Bible. Bringing all these scientific words, scientific invention, and trying to attribute it to the Bible. And I said, okay, hold on. In Genesis, it says that Eve spoke to the serpent, and it was the serpent that convinced Eve to eat the fruit from the tree of good and evil. But in the Quran says it was Adam and Eve that Satan himself spoke to. And I asked him, I said, so which one is true, the Bible or the Quran? He said, no, that is the Bible. I should. When it comes to the Quran, I should just do away with it, that the Quran is wrong. I said, but how can you say the Quran is wrong? Hi, I'm fine, I'm on the phone, sorry. So I was like, how can you say the Quran is wrong? How did you come to the conclusion that the Bible is right? I mean, this is not, we're referring to the creator of the universe, which is God himself. Don't you think logically the person who will settle this dispute would be the God himself? They say, no, God cannot come. God cannot come anymore to come and dispute and settle any confusion and all that. I said, but how do you want me to believe you? How did you come to the conclusion that what the Bible is saying is the truth and the Quran is wrong? because those who we're speaking to or speaking about right now is not here to settle this issue. So why will I believe you or won't believe the Quran? You know. Then he went ahead saying, "Oh, God, God doesn't communicate, can't come and communicate because I can't tell God what to do." I said, "Oh, I can't tell God what to do." Oh, but the last time I checked, people were telling telling God what to do in the Bible. Then I gave him the passage. Then he used metaphysics. I said, what's this guy talking about? How does metaphysics have to do with this? I asked him, okay, why is it that when it comes to the Bible, every communication God had was an audible communication he had with humans? I gave him an example with Adam and Eve. I gave him an example with Cain and Abel. I gave an example with Abraham, Moses, David, Jacob, Elijah, Elisha. They all spoke directly with God. He was speaking with them. In fact, Moses even saw God's back. But for some reason, in this our era, it doesn't replicate itself anymore. He said God changed his way of communicating with humans. I said, so God can change his mind? He said, yes, but I said, but the Bible states that God doesn't change his mind. In fact, you Christians, you always use this phrase, the unchangeable God. That is your phrase as Christians. So at what point did he change his mind? And what's the contradiction for? All those miracles that happen in the Bible, nobody can replicate it today, in today's date. No one does it. We've been on this live on TikTok talking about this God, the confusion here and there, trying to disprove and prove. I mean, wouldn't it be logical for the God himself to come down here and come and prove himself and say, oh, you guys don't need to be confused anymore. I am the creator. Speak to all the humans at once. I mean, you guys said he's omniscient, omnipotent, and omnipresent. So, I mean, he can do it. Why is it that he can't do it? What's happened? Why did he suddenly just become silent? And I asked him, okay, why do we need a book? Why do we need a book to know this creator of the whole multiverse? I mean, I feel like you're bringing his standards down. He needs a book for humans to know him. I mean, from Genesis to Revelation, I don't think they needed any book to know him. When you read the Bible, they all had visible and direct contact with this God. For some reason, they decided to create a book. Why do we need a book? What is the essence of this book? They can't answer. So that's the issue. I'm always, and that's the question I'll be asking. Why is it that what happened in the Bible does not replicate itself in this day? Nobody wants to say anything. They don't know.
That's why you see the English language is a very funny language. They use some when they can't answer certain questions or they don't have answer. They say that the message is esoteric or allegorical or he speaks in parables. It doesn't mean what it say and all these things. This is way to meander or zigzag out of the fact that we are reading. A God that is all powerful, a God that is all knowing, a God that has a plan would see two persons fighting on different scenario of what is God and sit there and do nothing. Millions of people unaliving each other because they think that their God is right. Does a God really so heartless? Well, anyway, they say God is spirit, but then again, God, you have emotion. Emotions come from your limbic system. When information triggers those agencies, chemicals fire. You have dopamine, oxytocin, tryptamine, all these things fire, adrenaline, all these things fire when information hit the brain, it activates those limbic system like the emotions, empathy, and all these things. Has nothing to do with a God. A God that if is spiritual do not have these things. So when they tell you that spirit have emotions and empathy and it's infinite, it doesn't make sense because these things are critically created for our survival. Emotions, empathy, and all these different attributes that comes with biological processing. Even animal shares empathy. Animal shares emotion. They have the amygdala, the flight or fright. All of those are in part of human beings, the animals, and all those other structures. That's why when a song go off, birds fly from the post or fly off. When something attack them, they run because of the flight or fright organ in the brain. They call it amygdala. So when these people talk about a God that is of spirit and do not have human attribute, that possess human attribute, that is a God made by human beings. So when they talk about religion, religion is designed by human beings to suppress our intelligence and to suspend our thought process. That's why we become ardent supporters and we become followers or followers, because we are accepting a story written by a man or written by a set of people. And then you find the name come from Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John. Those are Anglo-Saxon names. Those are recent names. Those are not old names. They're recent names. So I don't believe one bit of the Bible. I don't even want to know if it's esoterical or allegorical or whatever call they want to call it. I am not holding on to any religious structure because I want to have knowledge. These things suppress common sense, suppress critical thinking, and destroy children from an early stage. And the reason why I destroy children, because the agency for intelligence in a child's mind started in the prefrontal cortex. And when you start affecting that prefrontal cortex, before it becomes fully developed, before age of 25, you're destroying his ability. All you need is from age 7 to 12. And once you finish at that level, you destroy that person for life. That's why when you talk about having freedom, it means that you must be free from religion, free from indoctrination, and only effective education that is based on objective reality. So all these pastors that you hear listening to, they are part and framers of the neo-colonialist structure. Religion, it's about colonization. It's about taking your identity and removing purpose of existence. And so it must be told that we should remove religion from any form of education in our children. Because whatever we plant today, we will be reaping it tomorrow. And if you implanted ignorance, you cannot reap knowledge. You have to attain knowledge, plant knowledge, so that when the child grows, they can develop and structure that knowledge to their own benefit. And we must recognize that religion is a structure of ignorance because there's no knowledge in that. It's just about the belief. And that's why we need to remove that from our society. Thank you.
Yeah. And again, to add to it, I'm so shocked that you know some doctors, some medical doctors who are in the church still believe that when you're unalive in this earth, if you do not believe in that God, you will go to hellfire. Now, I mean, in nursing school, they always tell us how the reason why how you feel, how a human feel pain or animal feel pain, because the brain sends that message to you, your body, that you just hit your leg on a stone, or something like a sharp needle just piercing through your skin. Your brain sends that information that this is the pain. And I said, so if your brain sends that information, because in this realistic dimension that we are in right now, brain, when you're alive, your brain is dead. I think it takes about 4 to 5 minutes before the brain is dead after you're alive. And I said, okay, so if you say we humans have spirit, in other words, are you telling me that the brain goes with the spirit too? Because if you're in hell, for you to feel pain, which is the fire burning you, your brain sends information that you're feeling pain or you're getting burnt because the brain sends that information. So how's that possible? How do you feel pain in the spirit realm in hell? Because you don't have any brain there. So because only your brain sends information when it comes to pain. And we have medical doctors who believe this thing. And again, also,
those are functional. They are functionally illiterate because the pain comes from what you call axons and dendrites through what we call neurons. The whole skin is full with neurons, and these neurons send signals across the body. And what happens is that when they have some people who born without those functioning neurons, so they can't feel pain, and oftentimes they have to be closely watched, and sometimes they have to be properly supervised at all times because they can destroy themselves. So So those any doctor talk about that, they're functionally, they call it functional illiterate. They have the intelligence, but those intelligence is based on specificity. But because the society to which they manage to come up in, these superstitions still form part of their thought process. And so they still believe. Because doctor, even though you have your doctorate, you still have limitations. And so those limitations are the ones that override your intelligence. And that's why you call it functional illiterate. They might have that, and so I might be troubling from that. And that's why it is so important that we ourselves structure the younger generation, because they are one also going to become doctors and nurses and these things, and yet still they're going to go in hospital and pray. In England, where my friend, one of my friends is a nurse, she cannot pray in any of the rooms. They can't do that over there, right? You cannot do that because you can be fired, right? But in those what we call third world country, and the reason why I say them that they are third world is because the information that they have structured the society on didn't come from them themselves. It comes from those countries that they used to colonize those countries, and that's why you become third-hand information or third world country. So it is important that all these things are just ritual. It has nothing to do with any God or anything. It's just a ritual you're just going through. Or customary factors, and I'm going to believe in this God and I pray that God will help me, even though you're a doctor or a nurse. And that happens mostly in these kind of small countries or these third world countries, former colonies.
Yeah, and also if you see how they describe they give us the descriptive process of heaven, it's always human concept. You're talking about this, the heaven is the street of heaven. So heaven has a streets. It is human. In this our world, we have streets. Everything they describe in heaven is here on earth. I mean, if you want to give a description, I don't know who wrote this. I don't know if they were thinking. I don't know what their thought process was. I mean, if you want to be descriptive about heaven, you should give a difference or something that we earthlings, we humans have never observed before. You're talking about streets filled with gold. Gold, we have gold here on earth. You're talking about there are mansions in heaven. Mansions are like buildings. We have buildings in here, which is all human concept. You're talking about God sits on the throne, kingdom. Everything is, we humans created those things. So now they now attribute it to heaven. See, God sits on the throne. He has a crown. So God can sit.
It's like what I said yesterday. It's like what I said yesterday. This Bible was written and given to poor people like the ones that live in Makoko, whose ultimate dream is to live in a mansion. Once you tell them about those mansions and streets paved with gold, they will give even their last breath to declare that Jesus Christ is Lord. That is why I asked the question that the person who's already living in a mansion, what are they looking forward to in heaven? Because they've already experienced the heaven here on earth. They've got the gold, they've got the cars, they've got the houses, they've got everything that the poor people are wishing to get in heaven. So what is the rich man looking for there? Perhaps that's why there's that Bible verse that says it's easier for a camel to go through the eye of a needle than for a rich man to enter heaven. Perhaps that's why it was written. Because really and truly, what's the point? I don't see the point of rich people praying to this God. In fact, when they go to churches, they never have demons. They never have their children taken through deliverance. They're never given any terrible prophecies. That is reserved for the poor church mice, right? People just need to wake up and realize that this is just a big scam.
Yeah, it's all human concept. We humans created that concept. It's not real. You're telling me God rested on the seventh day, so if God can rest like humans, those are human behaviors, though. You know.
And what happens too is that I bought two special milk and two special honey that I have. And I haven't used, you wouldn't believe me, 2 big bottles of honey, and I have that for almost 4 months, and I haven't used any one of them, and it's in my fridge there. Milk, I oftentimes give to, when I see people and they're desperately, I give it to them, and they're passing about my home. This tells you a different story. It's because those who captivated under these lies are poor people. And that's how they get the numbers, because majority are poor. And they spread it, and they think that they're going to walk on the streets of gold and you're going to drink milk and honey. Who would mind? Honey, as a matter of fact, is stolen article. It's not something that given to us. We went and interrupt the bees and stole their honey, right? That's a stolen article. Milk also too is stolen. It belongs to the cow. We ain't supposed to be drinking cow milk when every other animal stop drinking milk after baby, after infancy. Only human beings stealing other milk from other animals. So, well, God is also encouraging the stealing of milk, right? So that does not make sense if you add logic to it, right? Because bees produce honey. Human go in on a life man, most of the bees and steal their honey, right? Cow produce milk for the young calves. We go and steal it from the cow and feed ourselves. What then does it make a God in the same path doing the same thing, mining cows in heaven? Why did he create human beings that to only produce milk at a certain time? Why they don't can continue to produce milk so that we can have all the time? It doesn't make sense. So all these things is real. When you add logic to the reasoning, you realize that this is just fantasies of the mind and not reality. And that's why we need to ensure that we educate our people. That's the only way out. Because any God that is all-knowing and God that have a plan. This is the plan. So some go to heaven and some go to hell. You see, that is his plan. If he had a plan, why would he regret? Does that make sense? That means that somebody messed up his plan. If you have a plan, how did somebody rebel against you? Didn't you know what would have happened since you're all-knowing? But this is a theatrical exhibition. Because if you don't have the villain, you don't have the good and bad, then you cannot have, like Tom and Jerry, you cannot have a movie. So you have to create two sides of the coin so that you can have different sides fighting against each other. And that's how they control the mind. And that's how they keep you under the psychological submission and subjugation. Thank you.
Yeah, you're totally right. I also wanted to add, because yesterday, I think, was it yesterday or last week? I was in another live. And this guy, this Christian came inside and he made one statement. I mean, I was just there 2 minutes on the live. That statement he made pissed me off. I had to leave the live. Do you know what he said? He said, even if he took slavery for we Africans, for him to know that God, he will accept it. I said, what? Like people like
you are absolutely, you're absolutely correct. I heard one guy said the very thing that you're saying, and I was so disappointed because he is in his 70s, and he said for us to come into the Caribbean and God take us from Africa, he did this because he wants us to recognize him, and he justifying slavery because of that, because he's a Christian.
He said he doesn't mind. He doesn't mind even if he took slavery for him to know about Star God. He doesn't mind. I was like, what? You see, it has eaten deep on them. It has eaten deep in them that it's very difficult for them to. I just feel maybe because their demographic where they are right now. I feel like that guy. I swear, if he moves out of Nigeria, his thought process will change. Because I always say the reason why a lot of people go to church in Africa is because everybody who goes to church everybody who goes to that church, they do have problems. The essence of them going to that church is because they have problems in their life. I swear to God, if Africa was like Europe, whereby you have to walk 2 jobs, you have good roads, you have all the basic amenities, nobody will be going to church anymore. If you go to an African church in Nigeria, especially in Nigeria, if you listen to people's prayer points, it's always problems. You know, I remember I was a leader in Nigeria. I was on a call with my uncle. He was going home and he said he made a prayer in the car. God, please, I hope, please, God, please let them bring lights, let them bring electric, let us have electricity. I looked at him, I was like, you're praying for electricity again? It's like, I don't understand. These are basic amenities that you don't need to pray for.
And the crazy thing about this is at this time of age, at this time of existence, some out there still believe that a woman came out from a man's rib. Like some people still believe that a woman came out from a man's rib, and some women still believe that they are helpers of men. And in reality, these women give birth to these men. It's actually it's psychosis.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't. I was sitting there. I was thinking about it. I said, wait, hold on. Every human being, even including a male, we do have navels. I know the navel connects to the umbilical cord when in the woman's womb. So wouldn't it be logical that the first human would be a female? Because every man has a navel. Every woman has a navel. So in other words, wouldn't it be logical that the first human would be a female? You know?
Yes, it makes more sense. That makes more sense.
Yeah, it got something called parthenogenesis. Parthenogenesis is where there are certain species. If you unalive all the males, automatically the females, they themselves, in order for nature to continue the process, the female will start producing without males, right? And in some cases, I think in some of the species, the female automatically, like the seahorse and I think some of the lizards, they would change into male or female, right? That's how it happens. But because we are at the macro level of existence, we don't see that through that lens. But if you listen to the Dogons of Mali, when Mali, they talk about existence, this is something that a lot of the scientists stole from those places. And they talk about the amphibious creatures that start from water and then come to the land. They have a long chronological process of teaching, but religion is and it creates this kind of twisted mentality among
I think the internet is crazy. I don't know.
Yeah, he was going in and out. He was going in and out.
Okay.
Yeah, but someone just called me, cut me off there just now. I didn't realize it's a call. They just interrupt the whole internet system. Yes, as I was saying, that the female, it's got to start with a female. It cannot be the egg before the chicken, right? And so it is important that we understand that the female started the process, and then somewhere along life journey, it relegate the responsibility. Yeah, it relegate those responsibility, and so we must understand. But the Bible twisted everything. Yeah, sorry about that, guy. My workers, I told them I'm gonna talk to them a little later.
These men, they were so threatened. They were so threatened by women. I don't know why. I don't know why they got so scared of women. Because obviously, this patriarchy, it's just fear for women, and I don't know why. It doesn't make any sense because they try as much as possible to make men believe they are above and women are under. But we come out from these women. It doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, I think it's a method of control. In the ancient time, because women were key to nourishing society, they ensure that they suppress the women so that they could control the society. If you can suppress the woman of those groups and indoctrinate the woman, then you control the whole society. Don't worry about the men. The men are always, even though we have the power, we can be suppressed by our women. So they ensure that they target women. Look at every religion. The target is women, right? And oftentimes women, after a while, they're the one who push the agenda of every structure that is structured in their mind. Look at Christianity today. 70% of the members are female. In Islam, it's different. The only reason why you have more men is because of the offer in Islam. Or you're gonna have someone virgin, and as a matter of fact, you are allowed to marry young girls as girls as young as 10, right? In some society, because in Somalia they had wanted to remove that age gap, and there were a big uproar in Somalia because they want to move it from 10 and probably get to 16 or 18, and there was a big uproar there. So these religion only create pervert mentality and fantasies of the mind. Right? It does not make anything meaningful for those who are captivated under the system. And that's why it's important. It also takes away your finances. It doesn't teach you about financial awareness. It takes away your finances. Because you have to show 10% of your money when that money could have gone to build factories. Those money could have gone to establish universities, medical institutions, research, and so much things. You check it. Every Nigerian, every Christian Nigerian contribute 5 or 100 naira. I don't know how it goes to the US dollar, but 100 naira every weekend for 52 weeks. And if you talk about 100 million Nigerians that are Christian, because I think it's 200 something million Nigerians, half of that Christian, 100 million contribute so much to the church or religious industry. You know how much money at the end of the year, at 52 years, 500 million naira, right? And at 52 weeks, you're talking about millions of naira, billions of naira. You do throwing away at this religious institution. That's why these guys could buy private jet and all these different fancy things. So it is important that we teach these people about the danger of religion and how it impacts our future generation and generations to come. That's why we are struggling here now to bring this awareness to them. Even though they are fighting back, we are on it because we know that this seed we plant today will bear fruit tomorrow. And that's why we're planting the seed of logic, wisdom, knowledge, and the ability to reason objectively and not to hold on to second-hand information or beliefs. Thank you.
And also, I always think, I mean, if you go into the church right now, a lot of people who are there, like older ones, mothers and fathers, grandparents. I mean, if they all pass on, if you listen to the young ones, especially these Gen Zs, I feel like they are trying. I think they're the one who won't apply critical thinking.
Religion is going to die at the hands of the Gen Zs.
Yeah, because they apply critical thinking. If you watch them, you see the way they think. You know, because so that's the reason why I watch these men of God, and I see what they do. I see they buy properties because I feel like they already know. So what they're doing, they're trying to secure themselves so that when that time comes, you know, they build some things for their kids. They know that there's a time. They know there's a time that, man, there's a generation that won't fall for this scam anymore. So guess what? Let's just prepare ourselves for that day. Because we go to church, right?
I don't think that most of these pastors actually can see the future like that. I think that, you know, when you're in a place where you're just chopping money, money that is not yours, money that you not work for, you just getting money upon money upon money. A lot of them don't prepare for the future. Some do, some don't, right? And I feel like most of the pastors, they're not ready. They're not ready for what is coming because they think that they have convinced people So much so that even their children, they're preparing their children to take over from them. But they
Yes.
they
A
did
girl.
not plan.
Yeah, girl. Yeah.
They did not plan for a day like this, so most of them, when they will be challenged. I don't think a lot of them saw this coming. What do you guys think?
Yeah, exactly. So a lot of them literally, a lot of those pastors are literally ignorant. While there are some who are awakened and realize that it is dawning upon them that this is not going to last for too long, and there's not a fight that they can win. So because once knowledge becomes the art of the day, no one wants to hold on to ignorance, and so they some of them are preparing, while there are those who may be literally ignorant and living day to day and expect that we are gonna it's gonna go on forever. And some of them just don't care. I'm gonna capitalize as much as I can and do as much as I can until those people become awakened. While there are those who are oblivious to reality and literally think that there is a Jesus and there is a God. Because I was talking to one yesterday, and she literally believed that there is God, and everything that she do is in the interest of God. Pastor, and I used to preach at her church. And what breaks me out of that church is after looking at those little children. I was having a conversation with those little children, and all of them are looking directly to what I'm saying. And I felt bad because I know what I'm talking about is not real. And it really don't make sense do that to children, because what I'm implanting in their minds is something that's going to affect them for generation. And I said, let me stop with this here. And eventually I changed the topic about religion, and I started talking about reality. And after I closed that event, I told the pastor, I said, I can't do it anymore. But I didn't tell her why. But she was a kind of, disappointed in what I said, that I'm not going to preach anymore. And I think she thought that, I just want to break away from the church and probably got some agenda with some other church. I said, no, I just come out of religion. And then she realized after a while that indeed I'm not into religion, and I was talking against religious belief system. So some pastors are literally ignorant of the story. So they think that Jesus is real. Some of them claim that Jesus is God, and they're not preparing because they think that Jesus is forever. And when they go after thereafter, he's gonna have provision for them. But they can survive right now until Jesus is left in motion for them. And that's dangerous, because what we're doing is preparing the generation for exploitation. Not only with us, but the system that is set up for us. What we are in is in autopilot mode, recruiting our children, recruiting our future generation in this whole system. And it destroys us under all circumstances. And that's why I am so passionate when I see my sister the Afro ATS come up, Vessel of Honor, and all those other proponent of fallacies, opponent of fallacies, as a matter of fact, opponent of fallacies and fantasies. I do come to support them because we have to highlight the truth. And the truth can only come when you present facts to them. Because everything about religion is belief. You could imagine there is a story in the Bible where God could defeat the people in the valley, but he couldn't defeat those on the hill, but he couldn't defeat those in the valley because they had chariots of iron. That's God's battle, right?
Are you there? Lucy?
Might be his internet again.
Or maybe he got a call.
Yeah. Please, there's one testimony I want us to listen to. Just hold on. Testimony. Is it this one or is it which one?
Afro, remember it's 9. I hope you're shaking time.
No, it's okay. It's okay. Don't.
Okay.
It's all right.
Okay.
Thank you. Thank you for reminding me. Thank you. Where is that particular? Just give me a minute. I'll find it. Is it this one? August. No, not this one. Not this one. Where is that video? Oh, is it this one? The Lord reversed it. Is it this one? Wait, hold on.
Finally.
It's this one. Please, make una listen. There are two of them. There's a few of them, but
All God cannot do does
please,
not
make
exist.
una hold on. You just listen. Akalesia.
Vicky, I'm making
0805581 to you. Why don't you just go ahead and talk about what I've done for you? Send in that video testimony. Don't let it pass today. Don't let it pass today. Send in your video testimonies immediately to this number 08055818653. I repeat,
Iggy, you want to say something?
08055818653. For the very last time, 080.
Iggy, you want to say something before I play the video? Iggy, you want to say something? No. Okay. All right. I'll just play the video.
55818653. And if you're sending from out of Nigeria, because you're still the code +234 8055818653. People of God, if you're ready, like we're ready, we want to show you amazing videos of what Jesus did for people like you and I. And when we are done, we will eat of the flesh of Jesus and drink of his blood. But my spirit is joyous that mercy has found you. Amen. People will see and know that you have seen the God that sees you. Amen. Take a look at what Jesus did for people like you and I.
My name is Vicky. I'm making this video from United Kingdom. I just want to give all the glory to God. Like 5 years ago, I was diagnosed of achalasia. I've done the operation twice. The third time, I refused to do it. I said, I'm not doing it again because I am tired. It's very, very painful. And achalasia is something like, number one, you cannot sleep with one pillow. You always sleep with 3, 4 pillows. You can't eat without water beside you, or else you choke. Even sometimes you can choke with the water. Then you can't sleep on your back, neither on your stomach. It's only 2 sides. And with the 2 sides that you are sleeping with, the vomit can come suddenly anytime in the night. The thing will just wake you suddenly. Before you wake up, the food that you've eaten around, let's say 4 hours ago, as the food is coming out of your mouth, it will be coming out of your nose. And assuming you ate pepper, you will be hearing that on your brain. You will be holding your head like this. God have mercy. God have mercy. That achalasia, what a nonsense name. It's a horrible thing. On the 17th of December, you mentioned achalasia.
Oh yeah, achalasia, achalasia, achalasia. The devil is a liar. Oh yeah, now so let it be reversed.
I was rolling on the floor. Thank you, Pastor Jeresi. Achalasia has gone finally, and finally. Thank you. God bless you. Bye. All God cannot do does not exist. All God cannot do does not exist. What my God cannot do does not exist. My name is Mrs. Adezi Abdurrahman. I've come to testify.
Somebody has achalasia. Yeah, something like reflux. Achalasia. So because Jerry mentioned achalasia is this. Hey, my goodness. Is this next one? This one always gets me.
Afro, sorry, I've just looked up the difference between achalasia and acid reflux. So with acid reflux, the opening doesn't close, so it allows the acid to come back up, which is what she is talking about, right? That is exactly what she described. With achalasia, your the food is trapped in the esophagus. Hold on. The food is trapped between the food. The food is trapped between the food pipe and the stomach. That is what achalasia is. What she described is acid reflux. Because acid reflux, it does come up your mouth and it comes out your nose. I don't know about achalasia. It's strange. but it's very different between achalasia and acid reflux. What she described is acid reflux.
So achalasia is quite rare. So how did Jerry know about achalasia? And this is the thing. I feel that Jerry actually goes to go and but he crams diseases in his head. And he does a very random, because there's no disease that you will mention. If you have a million people listening to you, there's no disease that you mention that somebody will not say that they've got it.
I feel like, and also I think most of the listeners that follow him sends prayer points. So I guess he gets those information from those prayer points and use it on the prayer.
Okay, I didn't think of that. Yes. Okay, please listen to this next one. This one always gets me. All right, where is it?
Hi.
All God cannot do does not exist. All God cannot do does not exist. What my God cannot do does not exist. My name is Nsppd Abdurrahman. I've come to testify on this altar. Pastor Jerry, years ago, I was diagnosed with HIV. I did my test, it was positive. My husband ran his test, it was negative. Pastor Jerry, when I joined this altar, my faith blew up. I have these test kits. I have test kits. My doctor nature supplied me test kits. I'll do tests, it will still be positive. I say, God, what is happening? People keep, Pastor Jerry, anytime you reverse HIV and hepatitis, testimony, people will come out and give testimony. My own will be different. I'll be asking my husband, why is my own different? Why is my own different? Are they arranging these people? I don't understand. My husband will just laugh and say, don't worry, God did it. Say, well, let me clean on this altar. Now, Pastor Jerry, there is something I keep listening on this altar. You hear people saying, when I became serious, I had my evidence. Pastor Jerry, that word, I came to that word. And I said, how will I become serious? How will I pay this prayer? How is the prayer made and all that? I became serious with the blood of Jesus. Pastor Jerry, with my attached evidence, you will see my before test. My before test is with a test results. What the test result, what the kit results, what the paper and the kit. Pastor Jerry, I place it on something. I will feed it communion. Pastor Jerry, I kept feeding communion to that paper, found something else and wrote in there. I kept it, Pastor Jerry, with my kit. All the kits, when I do my test, I'll burn them. I'll burn the kit. Then I remove that tray.
They're feeding test kit with Holy Communion. They say she has to be serious with your Christian faith. That is her being serious with her Christian faith.
No, serious with the blood of Jesus. She said she got serious with the blood of Jesus.
She was feeding test kit with Holy Communion. Which kind of wahala be this? Anyway, oh Lord, just listen. The thing tire me.
But Afro, she said that her doctor was supplying her with test kits. What the fuck for?
Listen, vessel of dishonor. This woman's testimony from start to finish is only test kits that she has at home. At no point will you hear her say a blood sample was taken.
And she doesn't talk about medication. You've been diagnosed with HIV. Why is the doctor giving you test kits instead of giving you medication? Counseling.
So she was given medication. She stopped it. Wait, just hold on.
So because she stopped the medication, she was given test kits?
No, just hold on. Let's just listen. Okay. Listen to all of it. I won't interrupt now. I will just let it play.
Hi.
All God cannot do does not exist. All God cannot do does not exist. What my God cannot do does not exist. My name is Nsppd Abdurrahman. I've come to testify on this altar. Pastor Jerry, years ago, I was diagnosed with HIV. I did my test, it was positive. My husband ran his test, it was negative. Pastor Jerry, when I joined this altar, my faith blew up. I have these test kits. My doctor nature supplied me test kits. I'll do tests, it will still be positive. I say, God, what is happening? People keep, Pastor Jerry, anytime you reverse HIV and hepatitis, testimony, people will come out and give testimony. My own will be different. I'll be asking my husband, why is my own different? Why is my own different? Are they arranging these people? I don't understand. My husband will just laugh and say, don't worry, God did it. Say, well, let me clean on this altar. Now, Pastor Jerry, there is something I keep listening on this altar. You hear people saying, when I became serious, I had my evidence. Pastor Jerry, that word, I came to that word. And I said, how will I become serious? How will I pay this prayer? How is the prayer made and all that? I became serious with the blood of Jesus. Pastor Jerry, with my attached evidence, you will see my before test. My before test is with a test results. What the test result, what the kit results, what the paper and the kit. Pastor Jerry, I place it on something. I will feed it communion. Pastor Jerry, I kept peddling communion till that paper turned something else and rot in there. I kept it, Pastor Jerry, with my kids. All the kids, when I do my test, I'll burn them. I'll burn the kids. Then I remove that tree as my tools for prayer. Pastor Jerry, I kept that tree inside that container, that's something there. I will feed it communion. I will feed it communion. Pastor Jerry, all the words you keep saying, HIV, hepatitis, we reverse. HIV and hepatitis. I keep on believing God that one day me, I will stop being a spectator, but a carrier, and I will testify on this altar. I said I will join the fasting and I will carry my evidence. Pastor Jerry, the first day, the second day, the third day, on the 8th, mercy prayer after mercy prayer, I heard it within me that it is done, Pastor Jerry. And my spirit said, sow a seed to seal it up. Pastor Jerry, I carried my phone and I sowed the seed. And I have peace inside of me, Pastor Jerry. On Wednesday after mercy prayer, towards the end of mercy prayer. But my spirit said, run this test, you are taking too long. Pastor Jerry, that is how I said, let me run the test, and I kept it too. He did not allow me to go and check it because I have been disappointed for years now. Pastor Jerry, I stopped taking the drugs because I told my husband, I told myself that I don't want to keep taking these drugs. And when I did that, they will say, it's the drugs that's okay. I said, no, God, you will clean me completely. You will heal me completely. I want complete healing. I don't want anything to be attached to the healing of my life. My testimony will not be attached to it's because she has been taking drugs. No, I stopped taking drugs 2 years ago, Pastor Jerry. And I keep feeding myself with the communion. I use the communion as my daily drugs. I went to check my test. Guess what, Pastor Jerry? I am negative. Pastor Jerry, you say, how will we shout? Pastor Jerry, I could not shout at first. I shouted. I told my husband, look at this thing as in, is this really my habit? Something when I checked it, I said, Pastor Jerry, hope I'm not doing mistake. And I told myself, all these things I've been doing this test, no mistake. Why should do a mistake? Pastor Jerry, I was shocked. I cried. I knelt and I said, true. So these miracles are real. So God can be trusted like this, Pastor Jerry. I was still scared. I said, God, did I do a mistake? Is it right? Pastor Jerry, on Friday, yesterday, I went and do another test. It came out clear. Pastor Jerry, with my evidence attached, that is my evidence. I am now HIV negative. Pastor Jerry, what God cannot do does not exist. I joined the millions of people to say the oil on your head will never run dry. The enemies will never see your back. I am a carrier. Pastor Jerry, this will not be arranged. I am a carrier. I am the carrier. I'm not protected anymore. What God cannot do does not exist. I've come to return all the glory to Jesus. I've come to return all the glory to Jesus Christ of Nazareth for giving me this great miracle. I am grateful, Pastor Jerry, for teaching us how to pray, Pastor Jerry, for teaching us how to pray, for teaching us the word of God, for letting us know God more and more each day. God bless you. God bless you, Pastor Jerry. What God cannot do does not exist.
What God cannot do does not exist. My name is Femi.
Oh, sorry. Eh?
Afro, did you notice? Afro, did you notice the program in there? You listen to her.
Which part?
She keeps saying, "Why do you feel that people are going to doubt you? Why do you feel people are going to doubt you? There's evidence. I have evidence. Oh, there's an evidence. People are going to say, why do you think people are going to say that?"
What about her husband?
The husband is negative. He was negative. Husband was negative. The husband was negative. This is dangerous now. Guys, just give me a minute. I'm going to mute myself for a minute. You guys just be talking, I beg. Yeah?
These are fantasies of the mind. I think that they use these to reinforce that kind of lie. You always find this in church, and sometimes it might not be fact that she was infected. It probably was a mistake. And I'm not too sure if they say that she was using medication, because oftentimes if you use certain medication, the virus would go on the radar. You would notice the virus, especially when they're using certain medications. So I think that probably she's just using that as a way to engage in conform biases.
And also,
yeah, go ahead.
I don't know why she would say I have to sow a seed. I mean, so you have to sow a seed before the miracle happened. I don't know. Why do you have to why did she have to chip that in? I have to sow a seed. I told you all this is programming. They know what they're doing, because if somebody else hears it, that means let me sow a seed too. Maybe God too will do my own too. You see, all this is programmed. They know what they're doing, though. They all know what they're doing. And again, you were saying, and she was saying, "Oh, is this a miracle? So miracles. So the miracle is real. If miracle wasn't real, why did you even pray at all? Why did you even sow a seed? You know, if you didn't believe it in the first place, why did you even try to attempt it? Oh, miracle is real. So this miracle is real. Oh, you see, all this is just programming.
Yeah, it's a plan rip-up. It's a plan rip-up, a plan way to rip-up. They have to plan this out how they're going to do it so that they're going to rip-up the people. And probably she getting paid a little kickback from that. Right? So I think that these things, they're using these things to rip off people.
Because people, my mom is, I'm not going to lie to you, my mom is among them, and she gives him $5 every day.
Yeah,
$5 every day.
Wow. My mom too. My mom, I talk with my mom. Well, she understands me. So we don't have that issue. She know that I don't believe in religion. And that's what she respects about me. And thing. But because she is trapped in that psychological algorithm, it's very difficult for her to break off from, right? It means that the subconscious mind imprisons the conscious state. Because the subconscious mind is what's called in experience, repetitive programs and all these things. And that's how they become entrapped into this kind of behavior. And so I understand her condition, but I don't allow the younger generation to be fooled by religion. And I'm straightforward. If she is there or not, I tell them, well, look, I don't believe in religion. Religion has nothing to prove and to convince me that it is true. Everything, it's human being. And so she knows how I think, and she don't really bother with me, or she don't even rebut when I'm talking, right? And so I do not fall under these lies. All these things are planned program to keep people subdued. Because if it was fact, you wouldn't need belief. You would have known. You could have presented. Say, well, look, yes, I know what I'm talking about. I see God, and you can see it by this kind of mechanism. This is all it's about emotion. When people say that God talked to me, it's a self-induced schizophrenic behavior. God didn't talk to you, you talk to yourself. This is what you call the placebo effect of an ideology that is implanted in your mind. And sometimes it is self-serving, egotistical agenda that does not resonate with reality. And that's why I don't hold on to belief. And it is a disservice doing this to children, because you're affecting their ability to think for themselves, and you're affecting the way they understand life from an objective perspective. So religion, it's actually a planned program designed to lie to you and to stymie your progress, while the people or the elites, they're earning big time. They're keeping themselves wealthy, and they ensure that they're taking away all the resources that is due for you. While you're praying to go to heaven, they're making the heaven right here. While you're hoping to walk on the streets of gold, they're creating the streets of gold right here. When they tell you about milk and honey in heaven, they are drinking it right here. And as a matter of fact, when you are wealthy, or when you are rich, or when you have money, you don't even fancy yourself behind milk and honey, because you have everything that is necessary for you to survive. I know that milk and honey is stealing, because you have to steal from the bees that work hard to produce their honey. You're stealing that. Milk, you're stealing what's supposed to give to the calf of that cow. You steal it for yourself. So the cow have to produce extra to provide for its own calf. That's stealing. If God had designed us for in a way that we're going to need milk, He would not have allowed us to steal from the cow. We would have produced that for ourselves. And this is where we have fooled ourselves under these circumstances. Tell you you're going to walk on streets of gold. If you're a spirit, would you have feet and hands? Why do you need streets to walk? Streets are designed for nature, for the planet, because you need to move from point A to point B. And because it's not easy moving through the jungle, you create avenues that you can move easily. That's why we created streets, and we created different routes so that we can make it. And right now we're using aeroplane, make it easy. All these things are mode of transportation. moving from destination to the other because we have limitation. So when you created streets in heaven, you still have limitation because you're going to walk on these streets with gold, walk on that street, and walk there. So why not flying if you're a spirit? So they have fooled us so much that we literally believe God is going to have gates of heaven. Why do you need gates? Gates are for a criminal.
Can I just say, I just say, guys, remember I said I came on early because I need to go somewhere?
Yes, Afro.
Yeah. I don't know if Vessel, do you want to, is Vessel keen on going live?
Yes, Vessel? we were just holding it for you until you come back. So it's okay.
Okay.
Yes.
I don't know if Vessel is keen on going. Okay, Vessel then. So everyone, let's go over to Vessel. Vessel?
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone. Appreciate
you, Afro ATS. Thank you for having me.
Thank you so much, everyone. Thank you. So, Vessel of Dishonor, we'll see you over on the other side, yeah? All right, everyone. Andrew, if you come, Iggy, please follow Vessel of Dishonor on the top. Yeah, Iggy, please follow Vessel of Dishonor so you can come over to the other side where we're going to be, yeah? Iggy, please follow the lady on the top, Vessel of Dishonor. Yeah, hey, Akani, you just joined. Just as I'm closing this one, we're going over to Vessels. Akani, we're going over to Vessels, okay, everyone? Yeah, that's where we're going. We're going over to Vessels. All right, everyone.